year now, we've been reporting on questionable spending by a South suburban politician named Tiffany Henyard. But we only knew half the story.
Legal appointment. That's what the trustees I talked to are calling this. They say the news took them by surprise. And now they're talking to legal counsel.
Have you ever heard of a politician so well known that even their own followers turn against them? Meet Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, who has become notorious for engaging in dubious activities, excessive spending, and corruption. Some even believe she is America's most corrupt politician, which is undoubtedly a label no one would want. But it's no wonder she's in the news all over the place given the Henyard scandals.
The people's mayor and people's super.
So what's really going on in Dalton?
Hold on tight, because we're going to go deeply into the whirlwind that is Tiffany Henyard's political career, her extravagant spending habits, and how her empire may be collapsing due to betrayal from investigations and some irate locals. Let's begin by going over the fundamentals. When Tiffany Henyard started her job in 2021, it appeared for a short while that she was headed to becoming a local celebrity. But soon after, gossip started to circulate about her actions behind closed doors. The claims ranged from giving police officers huge raises to squandering government funds for personal indulgences to giving them overtime that didn't even tally up. Oh, and did I mention the multi-million-dollar deficit her community is currently experiencing? Yes, it's a mess, and she is responsible for it.
To be on the street fighting crime, and instead we have several officers that are riding around protecting.
The fact that new scandals tend to surface every few weeks, like Tiffany Henyard's famous proposal to reduce the salary of any future mayor, but only if she loses re-election, is one of the most bizarre aspects of her story. It's almost as though she's planning a backup plan, aware of her time potentially running out, and that's only the beginning. Let's discuss her spending patterns. Henyard is renowned for leading a lavish lifestyle, and by lavish, I mean spending tens of thousands of government cash on luxurious vacations, first-class airfare, and opulent hotel accommodations.
Residents are paying for her.
According to some accounts, Henyard spent tens of thousands of dollars in just 5 months, including stays at upscale establishments like the Four Seasons in Atlanta and the Marriott Marquis in Times Square. What did the people of Dalton receive as a result of these expenditures? Official Travel's Chris Gonzalez, the town trustee, claims that Henyard and her colleagues have said nothing at all, despite his months-long demands for explanations regarding these extravagant expenditures. It's almost as though she feels beyond the law.
To terminate key free.
If you think that's
Remember those dubious overtime payments. And if you think that's terrible, wait till you hear about what's going on with the police department under Henyard's watch. As it happens, some of the cops in Dalton's overtime earnings exceeded their actual salary. It was stated that one cop earned over $100,000 in overtime alone, more than doubling his base pay.
The way that the government always does it is to go and investigate people around her, and that's what they're doing.
And now for the juicy part. It seems that Henyard has been playing favorites, especially with her key ally deputy. Lacy, the police chief and ardent admirer of Henyard, isn't exactly perfect himself. In fact, he was charged with bankruptcy fraud.
Guilty of all 9 counts. I believe he's cooperating. And if you cooperate, you have to admit.
However, that did not stop Henyard from rehiring Lacy after the board decided to fire him. This action caused a great deal of indignation in the town, with both board members and residents wondering how Henyard could simply disregard a court ruling of that nature. Lacy is reportedly still showing up for work as if nothing had happened, acting as though he's still in command. Speaking of a power struggle, this is where things start to get really interesting. With all the public outcry and scandal, you would think Henyard would keep quiet for a while, but instead she's putting in extra effort and portraying herself as the victim of all of this. She claims that she is being unfairly singled out because of her political views and race.
That you are up here at this special meeting and not downstairs where we have big meetings.
She's even gone so far as to make speeches advocating for unity and saying that people are trying to bring her down. This is a classic tactic of playing the victim to deflect attention from the accusations. But the worst part is that these speeches are taking place as former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot is investigating her. That's right, Henyards Shady Spending has caught the Lori Lightfoot, who was hired by the Dolton board to look into the town's finances, talked about the irony that her initial findings showed that Dalton's financial situation has gotten worse since Henyard took office. We're talking about millions of dollars in debt, unreported spending, and credit card purchases that seem to have nothing to do with any official business.
One day purchase of over $40,000 to Amazon. And the main thing is,
One of the most
startling revelation was that $40,000 was charged to Amazon in a single day, and nobody knows where the money went. Let's just say that doesn't seem good yet, even though Henyard is still working to preserve. She has been referring to herself as the super mayor and even boasting about the success of her taxpayer-funded events, such as the $85,000 party she held, which ended up being a total failure.
Investigated Henyard's use of a police security detail, taking officers off the street and costing thousands of dollars.
She flew in R&B singer Kiki Wyatt and rapper Jay Holiday, but almost no one showed up. It's almost unbelievable that she would spend so much money on a party that no one came to, but it's just another instance of how distant Henyard appears to be from the people she's meant to serve. And speaking of the people she's not happy with, public meetings and the town have descended into chaos as residents have publicly called for Henyard's resignation. They are tired of watching their taxes go to waste while town services refuses to provide services. One irate resident even yelled during a meeting, "You've done nothing. You don't care about anyone but yourself." It's obvious that the tide is turning against her.
Is it the reason why you guys are not paying whatever that vendor is?
What was it for?
It was for...
However, maybe the most unexpected aspect of this whole story is how rapidly her own followers are abandoning her. For instance, Carmen Carlisle, who was formerly among Henyard's closest supporters, is now one of her harshest detractors. Carlisle recently came forward and accused Henyard of deceiving its workers, suppliers, and even locals to continue to have an impact through a public declaration. Carlisle wasn't holding back when he called Henyard's leadership exploitative and unethical, and this wasn't merely a behind-the-scenes claim. Carlisle made such remarks in front of Henyard herself during a crowded board meeting. Betrayal doesn't get much more public than that.
Finding of an investigation of village finances and the spending habits of beleaguered Mayor Tiffany.
Carlisle isn't the only one who is speaking out. The trustees have been working to limit Henyard's power through new ordinances, and they're seriously looking into her. There have even been rumors of possible legal action, which could cause serious problems for Henyard, as she tries to control every decision the board makes. They're fighting back harder than ever before, determined to find out the full extent of, as if the financial mess she left behind couldn't get any worse. There have been rumors of secret meetings between Henyard and some of the town's business owners. It is said that she has been giving these select individuals preferential treatment, such as accelerated permit approvals and loosened regulations, in exchange for money for her re-election campaign. Although there isn't any concrete proof, residents of Dolton are beginning to inquire the community's mistrust has only grown as a result of these whispers, which have reinforced the notion that Henyard is more concerned with protecting her political future than with genuinely helping the people. In addition, there is the issue of her personal spending, with those close to the situation alleging that Henyard has been using taxpayer funds for both her opulent vacations and her personal shopping spree purchases, which range from investigators are already investigating a number of dubious purchases, including costly furniture and designer clothes. If these allegations prove to be accurate, Henyard may face even more severe legal issues, maybe including embezzlement charges. The calls for her resignation are becoming stronger every day, which is not surprising.
To some financial limits, we're not looking to necessarily...
However, it's not just the political betrayal that's turning the tide against Henyard. The people of Dolton are also fed up. For months, they've watched as their mayor ignores the problems in their community in favor of promoting herself. Now that more information about the town's financial crisis is becoming available, people are beginning to demand answers. They want to know why their mayor is living lavishly while the town continues to accrue debt. And let's not forget the public's response to after her spending was frozen and her once massive police entourage vanished, Henyard abruptly lost her personal security detail. One online commenter was unreserved in their amusing remarks, stating that Henyard no longer has a personal security team and that all of her credit cards and money for that were frozen. It seems like the house of cards is finally collapsing, and people are beginning to notice. To put it even more clearly, does she ever watch her videos? She is so corrupt that it's reasonable for her to not know right from the start. False, it's hardly surprising that folks are demanding that she resign as investigations into Henyards continue to show how uninformed she is. A sixth grader would make a better mayor. The FBI Lightfoot's ongoing investigation and public authorities' demands for greater openness are simply adding to the pressure on financial mismanagement. Henyard's ability to maintain her position for very long is questionable, but she continues to fight back and refuses to. At this moment, it's unclear if Tiffany Henyard will face criminal charges as a result of cooperating with authorities and claiming she was the target of a political smear campaign. Will the board be able to reinstate her with new ordinances at last, or will she somehow continue to hold on to power in spite of everything that has transpired? The drama in Dalton isn't finished yet, but I have a question for you. Do you believe Henyard will eventually be evicted, or will she keep fighting the increasing resistance? Do her allegations of political persecution have any merit, or are they only a ploy to do away with transparency? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below, and as always, check back soon for more information about this crazy journey. I appreciate you watching, and until the next time, keep your eyes on the news because you never know when the next major scandal will occur. Until we meet again, thanks for watching Visual Vortex.